All right, welcome everyone to our first meeting of 2024. This is the new and improved marketing and market research Tableau user group. Today we will start off with an update about our group, and then we'll get into, we have an exciting presentation about trellis charts. We'll meet a community member or two, and then after the presentation, we'll have some networking breakouts. For anyone new here, I'm Josh Wilson. I'm an independent consultant, and I focus on market research analytics, which often includes survey data and Tableau. I started the market research Tableau user group in 2022, and then Vinod and Sharon joined shortly after that. We had 4 or 5 events as the market research Tableau user group. And then in the fall, last fall, Sarah and Luigi approached Tableau with the idea of a marketing Tableau user group. Tableau said, hey, there's a market research Tableau user group already. Maybe have a chat with them first. So we all got together and agreed that it would be fun to join forces. And here we are. And, you know, it makes sense because market research and marketing are so closely related. For anyone who isn't necessarily familiar and just joining maybe to learn about trellis charts today. So typically market research is about understanding your customers through surveys, for example. And with that understanding, then you're able to market to them or to, sell your product and service in a more, targeted way, because now you understand your customers better. So it makes sense that we're all here together. So with that, maybe, so Sharon's here as well. Vinod isn't here, but Sharon, do you want to give a quick intro, and then we'll hear more from you in a bit as well.
Sure, thanks, Josh. So for those who don't know me yet, Sharon here. I'm from San Jose, California. I also run my own independent consulting company. We offer end-to-end data services, from data pipeline management through to analysis, reporting, and survey consulting work as well. And I'm glad to be here today, glad to see so many new faces and that we've expanded into marketing. And feel free to reach out to me after the presentation if you want to connect. Always happy to chat and meet new people.
Great.
Sarah?
Yeah, and I see there's some LinkedIn being dropped in the chat. Feel free to drop your profile link, and then we can connect that way. Yes, Sarah, and please introduce yourself as well.
Great, thank you. Good morning. I'm Sarah Pallett. I'm a Tableau developer. Been doing that for about 4 years now. Prior to Tableau, I was in advertising on the agency side, specifically media planning and buying. And so I'm very happy to be joining this group as a co-lead, bringing my 2 favorite things together, marketing and Tableau. So looking forward to contributing. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Luigi Cicciari. I'm from San Diego, California, home of the next Tableau conference. I hope to see you all there. I'm the Vice President of Operations for Direct Avenue. We're a direct response performance marketing agency. We run commercials on linear and connected television, and we drive results through our campaigns, and we pair airings data with responses, whether it's from websites or any way that you can buy something or sign up for something. I'm in charge of our operations analytics groups here, and I'm the primary Tableau author, and I'm really excited to join this group, and I'm really excited to see Sharon and Alex's presentation. It's gonna be fantastic.
Awesome. And I can definitely recommend the Tableau conference. I went last year, and it was a ton of fun. I'm really looking forward to it again this year. So now you know a little bit about us. We'd like to meet, one or two of you as well. So we'd love for, if you're interested, tell us your name, who you work for, what's your role, what's your experience with Tableau and, marketing or market research, and what aspects of data visualization are you good at, or maybe what you struggle with, and maybe what we can help with. So we'd love to get a volunteer, and you can unmute yourself or raise your hand. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Hey, this is Trina. I'll jump in if that's okay. I'm Trina Arnett. I have two different kind of jobs. I run my own analytics research and analytics consulting company, as well as I head up the marketing sciences function for an advertising agency in the Bay Area called BSSP. So I use Tableau a lot. I have been using it since 2008. Hi, Steve. So yeah, I've been using it since 2008. So you've probably seen my name, my company's name, Trinalytics, around. What am I good at? What do I struggle with? That's a good question. I'm here to learn because I find that I always use the same kinds of things over and over again. And sometimes I need to broaden my perspective and use something else to get across the what I want to get across. And I'm happy that this got expanded to marketing because I was trying to help Sarah do that. So yay, Sarah.
Very cool. Thanks, Trina. Anyone else?
I can go next. Hi, this is my first time. My name is Jennifer Osuna. I work for Morpheus Data. I run growth marketing and business development. And I am new to Tableau, but I have a huge need to gather as much data as we can and report out to our executive teams. And I'm struggling kind of with everything. So,
Okay.
Trying to get reports out of Salesforce and get the data that I need and, pull in other data sources like TechTarget and Medicine Logic and ZoomInfo to be able to, look at all the data and then determine what we're going to do going forward based on that. That's where I'm at. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Jennifer.
Okay, I would like to introduce myself.
Please.
Yeah, I am one of the speakers today. Well, my name is Alexander Mo. I will talk about the building trellis chart. And I am an independent Tableau consultant. And I create dashboard, build the data pipeline. I'm based in San Francisco Bay Area, and I have consulted for Apple, Federal Reserve, Berkeley, etc. I've been using Tableau for 10 years. I'm going to the Tableau conference in San Diego. Hope to see you guys. Yeah, would be really glad to meet all you guys. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to have a meetup, a little meetup for anyone in our group who's attending the conference. Thank you, Alexander. Anyone else? We can do maybe one more.
I'll go. This is my first time in the group actually. So I'm Julius Evans. I'm with the work in professional baseball. So I work for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Going into my ninth year. related to Tableau. On the administrative side, I've been running Tableau and pushing Tableau for about 7 years. Just recently opened up our user base to more of the sales rep use versus just a manager, executive kind of ownership reporting tool. So my role is mostly on data pipelines, ETL, data modeling, dealing with transactional data, CRM data. We kind of brand ourselves more on the sales analytics and CRM side. So we work closely with the sales teams and the sales staff, sales executives. I'm here similar to, I think, somebody that kind of just mentioned it a few minutes ago, but just here to learn more and get involved. We have a multitude of data sources, whether that's internal, external APIs, data we get from MLB that we report on. There's a lot of great things, a lot of cool things that we can do and report on it and visualize it. I think my biggest thing that I need to learn on is also adoption, really selling our product and getting people to buy in to our data. And another thing is like I said, we work closely with CRM, so being able to trying to marry kind of Salesforce data and Salesforce reporting into Tableau reporting too. So and utilizing kind of like Salesforce pipelines and specific fields there. So but yeah, I'll be in San Diego, and I actually even live in San Diego, so I'll be down at the conference there next month. So
Awesome.
Nice to meet you all.
Great, nice to meet you. All right. With that, let's move on, and we will be jumping into our featured presentation. So I will turn it over to Sharon and Alex for that, and I will stop sharing.
Great. Thanks, Josh. I think once you stop, I can share. And can everyone see my screen?
Yes, looks good.
Thank you. All right, so super glad to be here. Hi, everyone. I think this presentation is actually going to talk about a number of things that people just mentioned. Data pipelines, getting buy-in from stakeholders are some of the themes you'll hear today. So as I mentioned, I'm a data analytics consultant from the Bay Area. Professionally or formally, I come from a background in finance and pricing, and about 6 or 7 years ago, I transitioned into data visualization. And with me today is Alexander Mu, who's very humble and introduced himself, but forgot to mention he's a 4-time Tableau visionary or Zen master, as it was called before. And Alex and I had the privilege of collaborating on a client project together, and that's what we're going to be talking to you about today. But first, I actually want to start with a personal story about my first job. I was a junior financial analyst at a well-known consumer goods company. And I worked in a multifunctional team on one of the company's billion-dollar brands. And I was told that my job was to ensure the brand's profitability. We had a target to hit 45% gross margin, and I was very motivated and thought that doing a good job was reviewing each initiative that my marketing or sales counterparts would bring forth and check the profitability and come back with a yes or a no for going ahead with that initiative. And I handed out many no's. Because if you've ever worked with sales, they are also motivated, but hitting profitability targets isn't their main concern. So quickly, I became kind of an outcast. My team members would kind of sneak by and escalate to their functional managers, and it was not a career success story. And I felt actually quite frustrated and demoralized professionally. But lucky, I had a great mentor who helped reshape my perspective and my approach. And instead of using my data skills to shut down projects, I started to use them to enable my sales partners. So much so that I became indispensable and kind of a trusted advisor to the business teams that I worked with. And I went from being kind of a gatekeeper to an enabler, or from, as I said, an outcast to a rock star, a data rock star. So I know that we have a bunch of data rock stars in the audience. And if you want to and will participate, why don't we put in the chat what makes you a data rock star? Or if you don't feel like you're a data rock star yet, what do you think a data rock star is? What are the characteristics of a data rock star? And yeah, share your stories, uses data to tell a story. Excellent. Agree. I know there's rock stars out there. Tell us what makes you awesome in your job. Absolutely. Right. Totally. So definitely curious, right? You have, in order to tell a good data story, you have to be curious. You have to find out what is the story. You have to be inquisitive and ask really good questions. Obviously, you have to be rigorous, right? Our data skills require that we are very detail-oriented, and also knowledgeable not only about data, but about the domain that we are working on, whether it's consumer goods or philanthropy, for climate change or sales, right? Yes, being able to answer the so what, exactly. So for me to become a rock star, I had to get my head out of the spreadsheets and into the business. I had to understand our product. I had to know the competition. I had to understand our buyers' needs. And only then go to the data to find answers, right? So if sales wanted to run a promotion that generated negative returns, I could offer them alternatives in the form of other type of promotions that maybe we had done in the past that generated the top line, the sales increase, but also met profitability targets. And because we are the ones closest to the data, right, as data analytics professionals, we have the power to show people what they might otherwise not see, right? We help them do their jobs better. And we can make the data work for them, not against them. And that's how we become indispensable, whether to our clients or to our managers or to our stakeholders. So really the key to becoming indispensable and having a seat at the table is helping your stakeholders do their job better. So who is a stakeholder? What is a stakeholder? At the very basic level, our stakeholder is someone who is affected by our work, and there can be more than one, right? As a consultant, my basic stakeholder is going to be my client, the one whose budget pays my bills. If you work in-house for a company, that could be your boss, right? And what we want to do is show them what they can't see, right? One of the methods to becoming a data rock star and improving the condition of our stakeholders is showing them what they can't see. And today, Alex and I will demonstrate how we did that with our clients, how we showed them something they couldn't see. So let's move on to that. We're going to do a case study and share the details. So our client is a digital marketing team, and they wanted to improve their understanding of the return on investment in advertising spend. Now, this is a team that runs global campaigns on social media, web display, paid search, advertising, you name it, they do it. And this drives millions of conversions per week. So maybe some of you can relate to their predicament. Let's see a show of hands, of plus ones, of how many of your stakeholders or you create weekly or monthly business reports. There we go. At least one other. But I know many of us, if not all of us, have supported teams that need regular business reports. So maybe you can relate to the predicament of our client. Our client spent hours every week gathering and cleaning data in spreadsheets and producing these types of workbooks that you are probably familiar with, and decks for a weekly executive briefings. Our client was measuring and monitoring their spend, the revenue, the profit margins, and the transactions or conversions. And they had a metric. Their metric was return on advertising spend, not surprising. And they were looking at that across geographies, across various marketing platforms, across channels. And honestly, if you count up all the possible combinations, right, of countries, platforms, channels, you have roughly, 66 values in your dimensions across 5 metrics. That alone is 330 data points for just 1 week. And obviously things run every week, so you can imagine the size of this data. And so that was kind of their input. Their output was something like this. This would go out to executives. And just creating this slide would take a week worth of work hours to produce, right? And the analysts who created it were left little or no time to analyze the numbers, finding that story, right? Finding that so what, all the things that you all mentioned, which is what we came here to do, right? As analysts, we don't want to just be preparing and number crunching. We want to dig in and understand what's happening. What is the data story? So a lot of frustration, a lot of low job satisfaction. And on the flip side, the consumers of this slide deck had little or no context on what these numbers meant, right? How did they compare over time? What drove the increases or decreases that they saw? So we had great talent working long hours on grunt work, feeling dissatisfied, as well as executives left without answers to many questions that they probably had. So we designed a solution that included data pipeline automation, and at-a-glance view for executives, also the drill down capabilities for analysts, and just wowing our stakeholders with a really appealing design. And for that, we decided to go with a trellis chart, or also known as small multiples. Are folks familiar with the trellis chart, small multiples? Seen it before, maybe used it themselves? I'm sure some have, maybe others not yet. So small multiples are very similar kind of to frames of a movie. And they're basically a series of graphics showing the same combination of variables and indexed by changes in another variable. So let's maybe see an example. This is taken from the New York Times. And here we see 22 years of drought conditions in the Western US. And as you can see, the design remains constant through all the frames. So attention could be kind of focused on or devoted entirely to shifts in the data. And very quickly, right, we can see that 2021, top left corner there, was a year with severe drought. 2015 as well, 2014, 2004 to some extent, but in different geographical areas maybe. And so the benefits of a trellis chart are this really high data density, right? We can actually encode a lot of data, which can increase our credibility, right? The more data we can share, the stronger maybe our point can be. The other benefit of trellis chart is it's really efficient in interpretation, right? We want our audience, our stakeholders, to be able to grasp what we're trying to communicate really quickly, and the trellis chart is very good at that. It lends itself to interpretation, and it lends itself to story, right? So one of the themes that came up when you were in the chat talking about a data rock star is someone who can tell a story. And so I think this chart is an enabler. So with the trellis, we went from this to this. And we're going to take a look. We're going to deep dive in a moment. I want to actually share a larger view of this dashboard. Can folks see this well? Can folks see this? Yeah, I see heads. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
We'll stay here. So first, this gives executives an at-a-glance view of the return on advertising spend across all those combinations, right? So each square here or rectangle is a dimension. It's a combination of a country, a channel, and a platform. And they can quickly see the best performing channels, right? Which are at the top left, that dark green, where we have, the 87% overall return on advertising spend, and the worst performing all the way at the bottom, right? So very quickly, we get a very good understanding of what's working really well in the program and what's not performing as well. And so each square has quite a bit of data in it, right? First of all, we have a trend over time of our KPI, right? That's the line chart we see in each small multiple, the overall trend on a time horizon. We have the overall metric that's labeled, that's the 87% for search engine in Taiwan, for example, on the top left corner there. We have kind of a most recent trend. So if you can see, there's like a little small arrow right next to the label of the channel, which says over the last most recent periods, we've seen actually a decline. And we see the color, right? The background compares that channel to all the other channels where we are running advertisement. So a lot of data in just one glance. I'm going to pause here because I talked a lot, and I want to see if there's any questions or comments or thoughts.
Feel free to add your questions or comments in the chat. You can relay them to Sharon.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So it looks like TikTok, Pinterest.
Yeah.
Not sure what the next one is, but the five at the end. It's that's sort of like across the board how they're performing with, like, not in a specific country.
Right. So we had combinations of just the channel, like Pinterest, and we had combinations with the channel and the country. Yes. Yes.
And we have a question here. How did you select your color palette?
Oh, that's a great question. So actually, the client had their own color palette. This is all anonymized data. So this color palette was just selected for today's presentation. But our client had a specific color palette that we were using. Yeah.
Excellent. It's a nice play on the green to red. So not your traditional traffic light green and red, but
right. Okay, why don't I continue, and you guys can ask questions as we go here. So let's summarize here what happened. So we went from this, tabular view of performance that had a restricted amount of data, right, that we could put in that view. Very little narrative, took an enormous amount of time and energy to create, and didn't really help in decision making and taking action. Whereas with the trellis chart and the product that we helped our client, that we created for our client, we were able to encode over 8,000 data points in a small space, but still not overwhelm, right? There is a self-telling narrative there, which we could pick up, and Josh, you picked up very quickly, where, you know, some of the channels were really not performing. Some key channels like TikTok, we saw YouTube, were not performing. This was also refreshing programmatically, automatically. So this speaks to some of the data pipeline work that we did to populate this view. And this really prompts discussion and asking more questions and digging deeper. It kind of facilitates that type of discussion. So, as we said, if you don't feel like you're a data rock star yet, we want to help you become one. And we're going to go into Alex's portion, where we'll do a demo and kind of looking under the hood of what it meant to build this visual. So let me stop sharing and hand it over to Alex. And while Alex is getting set up, if anyone wants to add some more questions or comments.
Okay. So, do you see my screen? Hello?
We see you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Great. Yeah. So, yeah. It has been a pleasure to work with Sharon. Sharon always has a very good vision of how to pick chart types to represent the data, to visualize data. So yeah, initially Sharon used multiple sheets to create the similar charts, which I had a look and I said, hey, we can do this in a single sheet. Yeah. So yeah, so it looks a little well, complex, but I'm going to show you how this is being built. Yeah, it's a very, very interesting chart. And in a single view, we can have a global understanding of how the performance of marketing, return on investment in marketing across the channels. Yeah. So here we can see well, this is how to the axis of the blocks of the squares or rectangles. Yeah. And so let me show you how this is being created. Yeah. So this is the one in the Tableau desktop. And so the axis.
Alex, are you going into Tableau desktop?
Yeah, this is Tableau desktop.
Because we only see your
okay.
slide. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to show the screen instead of applications. Let me share. The entire screen. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So now do you see?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So this is well, how to create an axis, and here I'm using, well, it's based on index. Okay, index is computed along the channels. Okay, the channels dimension. Yeah, and here added a parameter that's so that we can select any number of columns, so which can resulting in different size of the same chart. Yeah, so that means we can have different kind of number of columns and the number of rows. Okay, but here in total, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 64. We have 66 squares here. Yeah, 66 channels here. Yeah. And okay, so here's index -1. This is the percent is the modulo. Yeah, modulo the number of columns. Yeah, and this is the y-axis. Yeah, which is integer. Yeah, index -1 divided by number of columns. Yeah. Okay, so this parameter number of columns allows us to select the best columns, best view we like. Okay, so let's make it. So this is 7 columns. Yeah. So there's 7 columns. This is 6 columns. Yeah. So we can, yeah, we can pick the number of columns and the rows as we wish. Yeah. So this is one thing in determining the size of the trellis chart. Yeah. And here, this is the time dimension. Okay, this is the horizontal time series axis. Yeah. And here, interesting. So since we have squeezed in so many kind of variables in the square. Okay, in the square. So which is basically a area chart. Yeah. So here we have the channel name, the change, the latest change, uptick or downtick. Yeah. And the KPI and the time series. Okay, the trend, the kind of bigger trend. Yeah. Also, we have a background. Okay, the background is in proportion to the KPI. Okay, so make it a kind of like a heat map. Yeah. So we have so many things. Yeah, we cannot do it in a single axis. Yeah. So we have use the dual axis. So let me show you without. Okay, before dual axis is 2 independent axes. How does it work? How does it look like? So voila. So here is the separate axis. So and this area chart use one chart, and this yeah. So this is another area chart. because we use different colors to color the area chart, which is a very simple same height area chart with the KPIs. Okay, so let's go dual axis again. Voila. And we also need to, in the x-axis, I think here. Okay, never mind. Yeah, never mind. So basically, this is the basic component of the chart. However, there are a very critical things in this chart, which is placing the labels and the KPIs here. That's a very technical, a bit technical to most people. Yeah. So the problem is we want to place the, well, we can place the label anywhere in the squares. Here we chose to place it at the far left, okay, the leftmost place, okay. So we are using a, okay, wow. Okay, so this is the formula we use. Yeah, the general formula we use to place the channel name. Well, here's yeah, here's the channel name, and place it at the leftmost place. Okay, first equal to 0. Yeah, and everything everywhere else is not showing. Yeah, and this formula also allow us to populate. Okay, so this window function allow us to populate the entire horizontal axis with the data. Yeah, even when there's no data there, even there's some data missing there. What I'm talking about is, yeah, so for some channels, you see, the data is incomplete. Okay, so it's incomplete. It doesn't have the data at everywhere, right? So some of the data there's no data there. So to place, so sometimes there's no data here as well. Yeah, but we can still use that formula to place these labels. Okay, there, yeah, because we are using a window function, and the window function allows us to populate everywhere. Yeah, populate data everywhere. So that's a little technical. Yeah. So one of this, one of the design technicals is dealing with incomplete data for labeling. Yeah, for labeling. Yeah, I have actually written, yeah, quite a few. This is, yeah. So I have written about 7 posts about trellis chart, and there are quite a few.
Yeah,
is
and
about
some questions here, Alex. So I'm going to drop your blog posts in the chat so people have that. And I know a lot of people have questions about how Alex did this, and he actually does a great job of documenting and walking through. So I'm just putting that in the chat now.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. I have yeah, I post here. So, well, I have a blog myself. I have written it. I've written about 300 posts, and so yeah, you can search, Google it, and then you might come here for answers. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. The trends chart is very interesting, and I have created quite a few of them. So here is, I just give you guys a few examples. Yeah. So there's a variety of ways to, yeah, to create. Yeah, it can be very beautiful. It add a global dimension to, in general, can be a little bit boring, but when it becomes a small multiple, we added another dimension to the data, then it becomes more interesting. Yeah. So so this is a stacked area chart, and okay. So this is a relative recent chart I made with the help. Well, the pictures are generated using AI, Mid-Journey. It's how people look in certain geography of the United States. So this is in Florida. Yeah. So what I'm saying here is actually just to show you we can create trellis chart for any chart type. Okay, for any chart type. Yeah. So here is mostly pictures. Yeah. It's a it's a very interesting chart. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Voila. That's my talk. Thanks. If you have any questions, I would love to answer it. Yeah.
Great. That does conclude our talk. I'm also putting in chat Alex's Tableau public profile. So you guys can actually see there's a bunch of trellis charts there that you can download. And in Alex's blog post, he explains in detail and shows more functionality, which you can do with trellis. We really just could only show you a small piece of it. There's a lot to unpack there. I know it can be overwhelming, especially for the newer users, for myself as well. So do not feel kind of bad if this was a lot, but just know that the functionality is possible. And if you run into this, reach out to us. We'd be glad to help you.
Yeah, we're not using answering one of the questions. We're not using the Tableau's AI. Okay, it's using some other AI tools to create those pictures, yeah. And then put together in a dashboard. Yeah.
How did you get the pictures? Is that like a map background, or how did you get the pictures to show up in the small multiples?
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned it. It's a map background. Yeah.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, I didn't think to use it that way. Yeah, there's a lot of these features in Tableau that or it can be repurposed, for other things like the map. You think, well, I'm not building a map, so I don't need that. But then, you could use it for images to, in lots of different ways.
Yeah.
Really cool. Thank you, Sharon and Alexander. That was Really interesting. I was taking notes myself. Like one thing I've struggled with is the labeling, like the location of the label.
Yeah.
So that's I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, you just search labeling a trellis chart. Yeah, you probably will find my post. Yeah.
And I saw a couple of questions about client adoption of this chart. And yes, we're all in the same boat here. And it was a gradual process. So, we had to take it step by step. First, just automating their data pipeline and producing the views that they were used to seeing in Tableau was kind of initial step, right? A security blanket to make sure none of the data is going away. They have that. And actually, that's only a snippet of the dashboard, that trellis chart. There's a lot that comes underneath that. And there is still a button that says, if you really want to see this in the cross-tab view, okay, navigate to that, to a different dashboard in Tableau. But it was a gradual step-by-step process of walking them through it. But it was very compelling for them. Once they saw it, it was very compelling for them, and they started to integrate it and use it more.
Cool. Yes, thank you very much. Well, we are going to shift gears slightly, but same topic. We are going to have some networking breakouts. So we'll assign you to a room and then kind of figure out. Hopefully, we're still kind of new to this bevy. I could definitely. We know how to do it in Zoom. We even tested it out, but hopefully it'll still work. So take a minute to introduce yourselves, and then any thoughts from the presentation today. Does this spark any ideas for you? Like maybe you've done something in the past, or you have a project coming up where trellis charts could be beneficial. So we'll take. Let's see if I can do breakout rooms here. Okay, let's do 4 breakout rooms, and we'll do it for about 10 minutes. And it'll give you a heads up, like when there's a minute left, I think, or something like that. All right, so take a minute to introduce yourselves, and then any insights from the presentation. How might you use trellis charts? I'm clicking the create button. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to send you over there or. Okay, breakout rooms have started. I don't know if it sends you automatically or if you can go.
I see a link that says join now, so I think we click there to go. Yeah.
Perfect.
Where is join now? Oh, breakout. Yeah, break.
So you might have to click, breakout room. So if it is in the bottom, should be in the bottom of your browser window. And then for me, it's showing once I click on that in the top right.
Is there any idea on mobile how would it appear?
That is a scenario that we did not test.
Let's see. Oh wait, I can scroll. That's good. Let's try that. I'll just.
Any insights? Any feedback, learnings, anything you want to share from your groups?
Well, I mean, me personally, I love that you have all the top level information that's right there in one place, but it's has a beauty to it that invites you for more analysis and to spark a conversation. And not me, we're talking about, you know, how it makes a conversation rather than, oh, just give me the output, give me the Excel, and you know, it helps walk through conversations and then, you know, explore together. And you know, especially if you're trying to move away from, you know, give me the CSV output. I know there's a time and a place for it. You know, I'll ask for it as well. But you know, on our calls with our clients, having visuals like that really helps us drive that point and then get the strategy quicker and sooner. Like, oh, you know, these channels are working, these aren't. And by the way, we've already addressed what's not working. We've made we've bought more media on what's working, and you know, everything else we have a plan for. And let's talk. And I'm like, oh yeah, I see it. Let's go. So I loved it. I can't wait to try to integrate it into what we're doing here.
I agree, Luigi, and Sharon, as you mentioned, it's very compelling, and the quick insights that you can get from it, it feels actionable and empowering.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I look for excuses. I haven't found a ton, but yeah, it's a cool chart to make. When you once you create it, you're like, oh, that's cool. I just kind of stare at it and I'm like, look what I've created. Cool. All right. Well, anybody else?
Yeah, I think I forgot to emphasize that we need to, in this case, in this trellis case, we need to design a very kind of detailed information in the tooltips. Okay, yeah. So when people see, okay, big picture, and also sometimes they want to drill down. Okay, drill down. So tooltips is a very good way of providing those detailed information inside each chart and each data point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think someone mentioned a viz in tooltip as well, which
Yeah.
which could be cool. Sometimes,
I actually, I use that in my you know, the picture, the different kind of people in each state. So when I point to any state, it shows a big picture. That's viz. That's in that one I use viz in tooltips. Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a couple of announcements. So if you want to join our Slack, you can use the QR code there, where you can ask additional questions either about today or anything that you're working on, and we can chat further in there. And then also, you know, let us know if you want to present in the future. We're always looking for presenters. And our next event will be on April 23rd. We have the Flurledge twins joining us, and they'll be talking about how to do cool stuff in Tableau, which is sort of their signature presentation. If you're, I feel like a lot of people who are still with us here are familiar with them. But so if you were at Tableau conference last year, their presentation was like the most widely attended. I think there were like 1,000 people just at their presentation, and we were in this, massive, like warehouse sort of, event space, and where you have these individual stages and then, seating, and they had to like combine the two, like they had to combine three and then like go back even farther. So just so many people attended their talk. But so we'll have them in April, and like we said, the Tableau conference will be in May, and they're hoping to present. So maybe we will get to see a few new things from them. So we will see. But they're scheduled to present for us either way. So that will be in April. And with that, that's all we have. So thank you all for coming. Oh, actually, one other thing for those of you who stuck around. Let me stop sharing. I'm asking. So I planned this out in advance. So we have we can give out some Tableau swag, and so we were gonna do this randomly here. So I had it like all queued up in ChatGPT, because you can put an image in there and then can say pick a random name from this image.
So Josh, while you're working on randomizing the winner, I see that Anat put out a comment here. If anyone would like to, I guess maybe re-engineer or look at Alex's trellis chart in detail together, try to like recreate that. Anat, is that what you meant, or understand what's under the hood there? So I don't know if yeah, go ahead.
Kind of along along that, like go over it, dissect it, do our own thing, obviously, but together, because sometimes you get stumped by something. It's like, what? I don't get it. But if you're going along with a partner or two or three, it helps.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So
yeah, Anat, I'd love to work on that with you. Let's connect after. That'd be great.
Great.
ChatGPT does not want to
play.
Doesn't want to do it. The randomly selected name is O Host. O Host.
Congratulations.
Yeah. It's you, Josh. It wants you. Prize.
No, then in the other one, it says Mia Harper, who I don't even see in the list. So I think it made that up. Okay, last chance, ChatGPT. Random name. No, that person's not here either. I switched it to 3.5 because the 4.0 was not working. Some things it's like gone downhill. I don't know. All right. Well, I have the list of people, so maybe how about we announce it in Slack? I'll get a better. Yeah. I'll go back to the wheel of names, which is the less fun way, but I guess it actually works. So
yeah.
So join the Slack and find out if you're a winner.
Yeah.
Join us in Slack. I will drop the link one more time here in the chat. And that is all we have. Thank you all for joining, and we will hopefully see you on Slack or in April.
Fantastic. Thanks, everyone. So wonderful seeing you.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.